Welcome to presenting and sharing a family tree. This is the final part in the series, Expectations and Examples. My name is Victoria McGregor. Having an expectation that everyone you invite is going to accept is sure to disappoint you. Give people some time and maybe a gentle nudge in a few weeks. I guarantee they'll start to get curious and happily get into the swing of it. They certainly did for me. It took about 2 months after the initial invite that I received from one of my nieces a letter to her written 25 years ago from my mother, her grandmother. Mum was clearly attempting to inspire her granddaughter. What she didn't know was that that letter was a small history archive all on its own. It held information only she would know. This is true sharing magic. This letter is a page torn from a history book. All good things do come to those who wait. Frances was on my initial preemptive personal email. She's not directly connected to this family tree, but I wanted to share with her what I was up to as we connected online while both researching another side of the family where we share great-grandparents. Frances found a connection here and contributed some documents and photos from my grandfather's side of the family, the man in the video with the St. Bernard dog. Frances just seemed to get it, and she ran with it and provided wonderful context for everybody to see. I know a new family tree is getting planted soon because of Frances. When your family tree is presented and shared in this kind of format, your invited guests, the ones you've granted edit status to, can contribute themselves with thumbnail images, links to external resources, documents, and even leave a voice recording, in the same way that you, as the owner of the family tree, do, although your guests aren't permitted to upload images to your personal library. If they do attempt to upload an image by clicking on the Upload Pictures button, they'll be prompted right away to create their own individual member account. What they can do, though, is attach images in the comment box, thumbnails, by clicking on the image icon on the panel on the right. Their own collection and recollections jump into the mix and get shared with everyone. Comments from all your guests will follow, and the dialogue and the story begins. Indeed, a family tree in its purest form is just names and dates on a page. But real people are more than just that, aren't they? They're a sum of their entire lives, even their pets, their dogs, their cats, their gardens, and their life-altering decisions. That's why the sharing and the ability to add to the family tree is so important for you and your family's story. When my guests begin to respond and share comments, voice recordings, and links, I receive a notification email from Ponga each time my guests interact with anything I've shared with them. And when this happens, when I receive that email notification, I simply can't wait to have a look and see what little gems they've added. Here are some more terrific examples of how sharing a family tree that is populated with more than just those names and dates expands into a story. My grandmother's youngest sister is here on the family tree. Of course, her husband is a part of my family story. It's simply amazing to me that a single photograph can ignite a deep dialogue with some family members, but it certainly can, and it certainly did. We all knew Uncle Bert as a very successful property developer, not a violinist. Well, I knew because I had the photograph, and eventually I had the violin. The chatter soon turned to table manners, Christmas gifts, and water skis. Here's a useful tip for sharing images that appear in your albums. As we remember, guests can't download images from inside a Ponga member's account. Those pictures are mine. Even shared images aren't downloadable. My sister recently requested a copy of this never before seen picture of our great grandmother. Here's a terrific way to avoid messing with image size restrictions when sending images by email. I uploaded the picture to permanent.org, shared the link within the Ponga comment box as I have with documents and videos. Now all my guests can download this image, another string in the Ponga permanent technique. It humbles me when someone I've never met, a distant, very distant cousin who lives on the other side of the world, thinks of me when they're out doing their own research. I think this may be the best place to close this off with an interaction that began in 2020 while I was doing research into this family tree. I was bold, as always, and reached out to someone on an ancestry site who was also researching some of the same people that I was. Rachel and I are actually sixth cousins, although I do believe we're also seventh cousins on the opposite side of the tree. Two brothers married two sisters, and then 4 generations later, my great grandparents married. They were third cousins. But it's what I received just recently that has me the most excited. Rachel's been Ponga curious for over a year now, my guest to a shared family album. Seems, though, that her curiosity and her interest in this had her thinking of our connection as she was out and about, umbrella in hand. The image of Rachel in the Walmsley Cemetery on a damp, cold, and rainy February afternoon, her gloved fingers snapping a photograph of the gravestone of our ancestors, is quite vivid in my mind. You see, our correspondence has never been a regular thing. What's truly remarkable and greatly appreciated is her sharing the image and the moment with me. I've uploaded the image now, pasted in Rachel's comments, and shared it with my family. And I remember to also send a share invite to Rachel to her family tree, this family tree. And believe it or not, in less than a couple of hours, my sister commented, "Yes, Patricia, this is indeed very cool."